filthy trash that shouldn't be read by anyone. Now that's downright moronish. Tomas Mann does not write trash.
You'll have to talk to Bernice about that.
Before we begin today's discussion, let me remind everyone that next month we'll be discussing Franz Kafka's The Trial. Will someone call Bernice and remind her?
I'll do it. I'll be speaking with her anyhow.
I'm not very fond of the German writers.
You weren't very fond of the French ones either.
Now let's not get off the subject like we did when we were discussing Machiavelli's The Prince. And let me remind everyone that we are discussing Death in Venice in terms of how it relates to our lives and in terms of its universality.
Personal relations and universality.
That's right, Joy. Gladys, why don't you start the discussion?
It might be better if someone else started it off.
Oh, come on, Gladys. Don't be shy. We're all friends.
To be real honest with you, I know it's a famous book, novella, and I know they say it's good. It was made into a movie, but it ain't my cup of tea. As a matter of fact, it made me sick to my stomach.
Gladys!
It did. It made me want to puke. Oh, but you can tell that Tomas Mann knew how to write. Just didn't know too much about picking good subjects.
In what way could you tell he was a good writer?
I don't know.
His paragraph structure is brilliant.
How so?
You can only get the real effect of it if you read it in German. But each paragraph has a build that is truly remarkable. It causes the reader to want to plunge into the next paragraph as soon as he's finished the one he's reading.
It didn't cause me to want to plunge.
That's because you're too narrow-minded.
I beg your pardon.
You are. You know you are, Gladys. The subject shocked you. But if you could read it in the original German like I did, I think even you would appreciate the art. The subtleties are truly amazing.
Well, I would wonder.
I know when we were reading the French literature, it was so much more engrossing in the original language.
Why, Racine Spencer
The same is true of Thomas Mann's Der Tod in Venedig.
Well, I'm not bilingual like you two, but I think I got the gist of what Thomas Mann was talking about.
So did I. I'm just saying.
Oh, Lavelle, I'm sure what you say is true, but those of us who are not fluent in German must make do with what we have.
Which is the translation. Although I'm sure it's not nearly as titillating as the original.
I'm just trying to do the assignment to see how great literature applies to me. I don't know why we have all this talk of translation.
You're right, Joy. We are departing from our assignment. Now, Joy, what would you say is the most obvious universal thing?
Homosexuality.
Worse than homosexuality, pederasty, which is why I didn't like it.
We know that, Gladys.
I could have taken it if it had been a story about two adult men. But in this piece of trash, he's chasing after some young boy.
Aschenbach,
Huh?
that's the main character's name.
I don't care what his name is. The book's about a sick pervert who goes around chasing young boys.
Don't you think it's more than just a story about an older man chasing around a young boy?
Not really. Taken down to the lowest common denominator, Death in Venice is a book about a chicken ball.
A what?
That's a term that refers to old men who chase young boys. I read about it in Vanity Fair.
I wonder if this story is autobiographical.
I don't think homosexuality is the major theme of the novella.
You don't?
No.
Well, I'd sure like to know what you think it is then.
If you'll be quiet, I'll tell
For 50
you.
pages, we read about this old man chasing this boy through the streets of Venice. There's a plague going on. The man is so eaten up with lust
He is the life, the youth, unattainable. And so, almost ends in death.
I, for one, think the way that boy flirted with Aschenbach, he was very attainable. And if Aschenbach had had any balls, he could have had him. It's what I think. I imagine it had been written today, we'd have a bunch of hot, graphic, homosexual sex scenes.
There's no way we can be certain, but I don't think so, Gladys.
I'm not so sure I think homosexuality is a universal thing.
Well, they're everywhere. They are.
Yes! I didn't know that.
Well, they are, and that makes them universal.
But I don't think that's a thing. It's a reality. And I don't see how it applies to us. Now, if our husbands are homosexual,
If our husbands had sex with men, they'd be bisexual.
how the theme of sex used in this book is not applicable to my life.
So what do you think the theme is, Joy?
Well, like we're saying, he's getting crazy and chasing after the boy.
I still think that homosexuality is one of the universal things, even though none of us deal directly with it. Lord knows if one of our husbands was one of them, he'd be kicked out of the JCs. Bisexual, homosexual, he'd still be kicked out of the JCs.
Oh, I imagine there are JCs who are gay.
Here in Mammoth Springs, Arkansas,
You think so?
Well, maybe not here in Mammoth Springs, but I'm sure somewhere there's a JC who is a homosexual.
I don't know.
I don't care. And if we could progress forward and get back to the book, I'd like to say I think Joy made an important point a minute ago.
I did?
The theme of obsession.
He was obsessed.
Totally.
So, if obsession is the theme, let us explore how it applies to us. Why are you laughing, Gladys?
You sound like a school teacher.
I'm the monitor. I'm trying to do my job. You're doing fine, Charlene. So, how does obsession apply to us?
First, I think we have to determine what Aschenbach was obsessed with.
I think that's obvious.
What is it then, Gladys?
He's obsessed with having sex with boys.
Is that what you all think?
I thought that's what it was.
So did I. I think so too.
Why?
Because he's horny. He is. That's why people have sex, want sex, because they're horny.
What does horny mean?
I think you know, Louisville.
What does it mean to you?
It means you want to do it. Men get that way more than most women.
Gladys, is that the only reason you have sex?
Oh, Louisville?
Is it?
No.
Then why else do you have sex?
Sometimes it's because Billy Joe wants to. And I don't want to talk about why I have sex.
Anyone else want to offer?
Because I love Jim and I like sex.
There's another reason. Love.
I love Billy Joe.
And in the book, Aschenbach says he loves Daju.
I don't see how you can love someone you never talked to.
He doesn't love him the same way I love Billy Joe.
He loves what he is.
Young.
And beautiful, right? So you think he's obsessed with youth and beauty?
That's what I think. It's not even that it's a young boy. We don't have anything in this story that suggests this is simply a
In
homosexual.
the first part of the story, he's grossed out by the old man.
So was I.
When I first read that, I thought it was simply banal. So the desire for youth and beauty is what caused his downfall?
I think so.
I don't.
Gladys, it's like retin-A.
Huh?
Charlene, as we all know, uses retin-A to make her wrinkles go away and to make her more beautiful. Isn't that right?
Joy, it's
I don't see how Charlene's trying to get rid of wrinkles and a man chasing after a little boy are related.
because they're both looking for youth and beauty. They're both after the same thing. It's not quite the same thing. It is the same thing. You use that stuff even though it broke you out and turned you all red and ugly for a while. Even though you're not sure it's entirely safe, but you risk multiple side effects in your attempt to stay young. Well, that's true, but I have not ever been sexually obsessed with Dennis Anderson.
I didn't know anything about you and Dennis Anderson.
Nothing true, no, Lulabelle, but you're the only one who hasn't heard those ugly rumors.
It happened last summer.
Nothing happened! Rumors! Well, Jim was out of town, and the kid asked me to go to the drive-in.
You went to the drive-in movie theater with him?
He's like my kid brother. I never thought anything about it, and then those rumors started, saying that we were, I think it was Bernice who started them, saying that we were necking at the drive-in, which was total fabrication. All that happened was that it was a horror movie, and I got scared, and he was consoling me. It didn't have anything to do with sex or obsession, and I wasn't searching for youth and beauty.
But it does help you to understand the paranoia that Aschenbach was experiencing.
It doesn't help me understand one damn thing how that man felt. It wasn't a date.
If it were, it wouldn't be the same as two men.
Well, that depends on why she was chasing Dennis Anderson.
I was not chasing Dennis Anderson.
We're talking hypothetically.
Well, someone else could be your hypothesis.
Bonnie, you're being silly. Now we're all friends.
All we're saying is that if you chased Dennis, which you did not, it was because he was beautiful.
And he is.
Then there would be a similarity.
Bonnie, tell me honestly. If it had been Leroy Coombs, would you gone? What? If fat, pimple-faced Leroy Coombs had asked you to go to the drive-in, would you gone?
I don't know Leroy Coombs. He's a checkout boy at the Piggly Wiggly.
Would you have gone? Yeah.
What does that have to do with Thomas Mann's death in Venice?
Gladys is just pointing out that
All right then. What about the fact that Lulabelle wears too much makeup? You said she knew Gladys told me and Charlene that. And she wears wrinkly race cream.
I only did that once.
Isn't that a quest for youth and beauty?
What the hell are you talking about how much makeup I wear?
Well, I don't know. You do wear too much makeup.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, you have a kind of broad. It pushes your breasts up real high.
Lady! I think I'll go home. I'm here to increase my knowledge, not to defend myself for a perfectly innocent moment. It doesn't have anything to do with literature, and it isn't anyone's damn business. I'm sorry.
Bonnie, no one meant to.
I think I should go home.
Say, Bonnie.
All right then. But you understand me. I don't want to hear another fucking word about me and Dennis Anderson. Driving up again. I almost ended up with a divorce on my hands.
Maybe we should take a break.
That sounds like a good idea.
I'm really enjoying this one.
I got some cheeses that I ordered from the Food and Wine magazine, and I thought we'd enjoy sampling them. A bottle of monkeys from Walmart. A sample.
These books are sure a lot more interesting when we discuss them than when I read them alone. It's important to delve deep into the subject.
I prefer not to delve too deeply into this particular subject.
Next month is Kafka. I can't wait. Kafka is a real head trip. You'll love him.
We are learning from this, aren't we?
I am.
So am I. I don't know if I want to learn some of this stuff.
I just want us to become more cosmopolitan, so that no matter where we go in the world, we can fit in.
Lulabelle, are the men really
son?
Oh, he needs to learn to dribble. Wayne feeds you the ball all the time. That's the only reason he scores so much.
All I know is those motherfuckers from Pocahontas didn't know what hit them. I tell you, I think we might win the state.
After get past Peter Ridge, them fuckers haven't lost a game.
They beat us by 15 points.
Yeah, but that's for a coach switches on man-to-man.
It's when they put the press on Pocahontas that everything turned around.
That's right, best goddamn press I ever seen. That's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna beat Peter Ridge. Got to press them. All right, guys.
I'm getting another beer. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll take a beer.
Not me. I come home smelling like a brewery. Gladys will throw a hissy. Don't work with Gladys.
Hell of a fucking game. The old Louisville said the girls stole Westwood.
Boy, I hate to watch girls play basketball.
Hey, that big old blonde from Pocahontas was something else, huh?
Yeah, he kept tripping over himself. Didn't score but 8 points.
Talking about that big titted cheerleader they had.
Hell, she did have some jugs, didn't she? Can't believe she's in high school.
Freshman.
Freshman. Shit. You imagine what those tits will be like when she's a senior? Hey, you know what I heard? Today she's going to Pocahontas and over there Wednesday night.
Look what we're doing. We're having a fucking reading circle.
I hope the guys over in the fair don't hear about this. Well, the national organization will be very impressed. We agreed to do this on one condition, Noel, and that's that we didn't tell anybody read the poems like a bunch of fucking fairies. If we listed our reading series at the fall meetings, why, we'd get a merit badge and there'd be a plaque. We're not telling anybody, Noel. They'd be impressed.
No, they wouldn't. They might act like they were, but they'd be laughing at us behind our backs.
Personally, I think it'd be a lot more fun and educational if we rented Portland. Just like
No, and we lose our charter like they did, like that chapter over in Flat River did.
that is true.
Yes, it is, Dwayne. They lost their charter.
That wasn't because of porn, though. I heard they was bringing in strippers, and they was gambling, and they was growing marijuana as a money-making project.
No. You guys just rent your X-rated movies on your own and watch them at home.
Hell.
You got a VCR, don't you?
Yeah, I got a VCR, and I got Louisville.
Read fucking poems.
Won't be that bad, Raleigh.
You know, we could pretend we do the reading and just meet and play cards. We wouldn't have to tell our wives. They'd never know the difference if we all kept our mouths shut.
It ain't gonna work.
Why not?
On account of Gladys made me bring this tape recorder so she could hear the meeting.
What the hell did she do that for?
Oh, she said she could learn with us.
Billy Joe, you gotta do something about that wife of yours. She's the one that started the whole mess.
Yeah, Charlene's just as bad. Billy Joe, you do need to talk to Gladys about her mouth. Mine is about ready to go. What are they fighting about now? That Dennis Anderson story that started last summer.
Hey, look, we're gonna do this shit. Let's get it started.
Hey, I got a surprise for you guys. You might enjoy this more than you think. You can wait. Everyone ready to begin now? Well, let me turn this thing on. Okay, now listen, you boys, you remember to watch your language now, because Gladys is going to be listening to this later.
Lick my crack, Gladys! If we don't want Gladys to hear you,
All right. Ready to begin our discussion. Now, today it is centered around Edgar Allan Poe's poem, Annabel Lee.
I do not want to do this.
Now, I will begin the discussion with some information for you. Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe is about this man who, when he was very young, fell in love with a beautiful young woman, and she died, and he has mourned for her throughout his life.
You know, it kind of makes me think of that Harris boy that fell in love with Reba Asher, and when she dumped him, he ended up jumping off the Black Creek Bridge.
And this the girl died.
I know. Just makes me think of that Harris boy.
Anyone want to say anything else?
This guy, he thinks that angels are jealous of his love for this girl. Not that there was anything wrong with what you said, Noel. I was just adding something.
I think that was an exaggeration. Angels wouldn't give a shit about him. I'm getting another burger.
Hey, don't talk about getting beers in front of Gladys.
Gladys ain't here.
And she might as well be with that damn tape recorder.
All right, Dwayne, you're next. You got it reset there, Billy Joe? All right, Dwayne. Now, it was Dwayne's job was to read and find out a little bit about Poe's life and the time that he lived. Dwayne?
All right. Edgar Allan Poe was crazy. and a drug addict.
Really?
Yeah. Heavy into drugs by what I read, stoned out of his door most of the time.
You sure about that, Dwayne?
Well, I ain't making this shit up. Look, I ain't gonna do this if people are gonna accuse me of making
I wasn't just thought maybe you got mixed up.
Well, I did. Edgar Allan Poe was heavy into drugs, and not just pot. Morphine.
Maybe that's why I thought the angels is jealous of him, because he is stoned and paranoid. Maybe he's even hallucinating.
Oh, and don't say nothing about that.
Well, anything else, Dwayne?
No, just that Edgar Allan Poe spent most of his life in poverty, being drunk out of his mind.
I think it's strange we're reading the poetry of a Dover.
Well, Raleigh, lots of poets and writers have got into substance abuse.
Well, maybe that's why they write so you can't understand what they're saying. When did Poe live, Dwayne?
Oh, just a minute here. I don't know when he was born, but he died in 1849.
I didn't know they had dope back then.
According to my reading, they did.
Well, that was good, Dwayne. That was good. Yeah. And now we're going to be discussing poetic devices. And Billy Joe will be discussing alliteration. Okay, before I start, I'd just like to thank my wife, Gladys. She gave me this report.
Gladys, I don't see why the hell you just don't come to the fucking meetings. You might as well, don't you?
Go ahead, Billy Joe. Just go ahead. Okay, y'all. Now, mine's alliteration, and I'm going to read you boys the definition I've got according to the book in the library. Alliteration is the echo of the first sound of several words in a line.
Yeah.
Well, that means words in a line of poetry that start with the same letter, like R's in Red Roses. That'd be alliteration.
So what?
I don't know, it's just what makes poetry poetry, I guess.
Having words start with the same letter?
Uh-huh, that's right.
So then, Betty's beauty parlor would be an alliteration.
If it were in a poem, it would be, yes. Billy Joe, does Annabelle Lee have any examples of alliteration? Well, not a whole hell of a lot, Noel. There's, in the first line, many and manies. And then in the third line, the M's, may and maiden. And then throughout the poem, there's a great many loved and loves. But that's about it.
Those are just the same words.
Well, yes, but a good example would be different words. May and maiden are about it.
I don't make any sense.
I know. I know. Well, it's just one of the many things that go into making a poem. How the hell you know? I learned it in college.
Well, if you know so damn much, Noel, why don't you just teach us?
Because you don't learn from someone telling you. Yes, that was real good, Billy Joe.
I'll go next. I want to get it over with.
All right.
All right. Mine's rhyme. And that means words that rhyme. You understand?
Right? Yeah.
Right. Here's a rhyme. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 1, 2, 7, 2, 8, 2, 9, 2, 6, 2, 2, 1, 2, 10, 2, 5, 2, 1, 11, 2, 12, 2, 13, 13, 22.
What?
That's the rhyme. That's it.
Well, that don't tell us a goddamn thing.
What are all the twos?
Remember the lead words. Everything that ends with it rhymes with it. I figure he done that so he wouldn't forget what he was writing about. Or maybe he's just stoned and repeating himself.
No, Raleigh, I think it was to show his preoccupation for the woman.
You sure didn't do shit.
That's what I was supposed to. I know well.
Yeah.
That's all I was supposed to do.
All I'm saying is you had it fucking easy.
Hey, Gladys.
Oh, Gladys, my...
All right, Jim, you're the last, and you're dealing with meter, right? All right, now, meter. Meter is one of the most important aspects of this poem. Jim?
Da-da-da. 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 That's for me. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. That's the meter. What is it, Wally? What the hell is da-da-da? That's a poem for me.
Da-da-da.
Well, that don't make no sense either. I think you've been doing some of that morphine. That's the meter, da-da-da. It's known as anapest. It's different from the others like duh-duh, or duh-duh, or duh-duh-duh. They're all different. This poem is written in the da-da-da. It's known as anapest.
Is anapest because the poem's called Annabelle Lee?
No. That's just the name for the meter. The does are unstressed and the da is the stress.
Right.
Now, you see, it's the stresses that give this poem its musical quality. You know, the repeating meter. Now, every time a word is broken, it's a syllable. Like the word rabbit, there's the rab and the bit. And when you say some syllables, you give them more force. Those are the stressed ones, the da's. And the ones that aren't stressed so hard are the does.
You trying to tell me this dopehead thought about all this shit?
No way it can be written like it is, kid.
I don't know about this, Noel. Look, some syllables are stressed and some not. Look at the word Pocahontas. There's 4 sections to it. Y'all hear?
No.
Does anyone?
Yeah, there's a poke, and and a haunt, and a
That's right.
Yeah, I see that. Poke, hard,
All right. Now some of it is stressed and some of it isn't. Now, what you say is Pocahontas, right?
yeah.
Shit, yeah. All right. Now that would be da. Now if it was something else, you might say Pocahontas or Pocahontas. Pocahontas. But you don't, you say Pocahontas, right?
Well, I know what poke means, but I'm pretty sure what a hauntus is, so I guess I understand.
Necessary. All right. Well, you can hear the stresses, right, and how it translates into da.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Holy shit, this makes me feel fucking stupid. Oh, it's bad enough without having to worry about that one.
Look, guys, maybe we should just end the discussion for
I
tonight.
second that, all in favor?
But we're not stopping, no, because 2 weeks from tonight we're going to be discussing William Blake's The Lamb and the Tiger.
We're gonna be doing the da shit.
Probably the meter is very important.
Screw you, Jim. Maybe I'll be sick next time.
That's about all, Gladys.
Yeah, I think we're making us feel like a bunch of assholes, but
It's not Gladys' fault.
oh, just through that damn thing. Oh,
Beer.
get a 6-pack.
Hey, you guys don't want that surprise I was telling you about?
Forgot all about it. What is it, Noel?
Excuse me just 1 second. Fellow JCs of Mammoth Springs, Arkansas. It is my pleasure to present to all of you the star of the film Annabelle Lee, Miss Daphne Dumas. Come on out and say hi to the guys, Daphne.
Hi, guys. I'm Daphne Dumas, star of the film Annabelle Lee. I played Annabelle herself.
Come on, let's give her a big hand. Daphne did the film a couple of years back.
You're a real movie star?
Yes. Yes, I am a movie
Talent doesn't equal better. Being beautiful helps too. Talent and beauty don't make you better than untalented and ugly.
You are pretty.
Well, thank you. I want to tell you guys that when Noelle told me you were having these meetings where you discuss great works of literature, I was impressed.
You were?
Yes, I was. I think it's wonderful you gentlemen want to broaden yourselves. Well, Daphne Dumont is always trying to broaden herself. She is impressed, and others that do likewise. I think it's especially exciting. Ooh, because you're men. I find it very exciting and sexy when men do things to broaden themselves. Would be too sexually insecure to read poems, but you are obviously very sexually secure, and that is my side, sexually secure. Well, if I wasn't a movie star, I might just move to Mammoth Springs and be around all you sexy men.
I'm Ronald Cole. I forgot to introduce y'all, guys.
Wait.
Wade,
Joe.
Billy Joe, Jim. Noel, I know that. I'm Daphne Dumont. You know that. You boys enjoy poetry, don't you?
Yes, we do.
I tell you too. I can tell by all of a sudden here. This room is just charged with excitement.
2 weeks from now, we're reading William Blake's The Tiger and the Lamb.
William Blake. I don't believe I know him.
Well, he's an English writer.
Oh, English! Oh, God, I just love the English. Mind you, I'm not an Anglophile. That means lover of English. But I do like them. I'm not one of those sick snobs who gets into them in a sick way. But I do get into them in a healthy way.
Well, maybe you'd like to come to our meeting next week when we discuss William Blake.
Oh, sweetheart, I would love that. More than words can express. But I won't be here. I just came here on a special invite from Noel, and he's got to run me back up to Memphis tonight. Then I'm flying to L.A. Los Angeles.
No, I didn't know you knew any movie stars.
Oh, we just met today.
I had to run up to Memphis to get some parts for the ass machine.
It's a wonderful story.
Yeah?
Real destined type thing. I had just come from this really big, important meeting with these high-class Memphis students in the music industry. By the by, I'm developing a singer talents.
You're a singer, too?
Oh, yes. Well, if things go right for Daphne Dumont, she could have a hit on the country charts. I like the country song. You know, I've lived life, not really experienced it. And I figured, oh, you boys know what I mean by I can put my experience into my singing, make it be like country too. That's another story. At any rate, I had just come from this really big, important meeting, and I was famished. And the only place around was this McDonald's. So I thought I'd go in there and get myself some nuggets. You know, chicken McNuggets, barbecue sauce. I don't like their duck sauce. But it's really not duck sauce. It's more of a sweet sauce. At any rate, I don't know. But I do like a good duck sauce. I know, I'm strange about particular things. Like duck sauce. At any rate, I
of the other women were. We got an X rating. But it was a classy X. You boys aren't offended by women being nude, are you? It's Bill.
No, as a matter of fact, we were just talking about that earlier.
We wasn't.
Well, I didn't think you would. At any rate, it did very well here, but it really had its appeal to the Japanese. They just went crazy over it.
See how they made a movie out of it? Oh.
It was hard, real hard. But they went for the essence.
It's just about a young man who falls in love and his girlfriend dies.
You've got to read between the lines. In the movie, it starts with me, Annabelle Lee, dead. The camera focuses on my gravestone, and in the background, you see the rocks and the seashore. Go passes by. Then you see him, the man. He is just spawned. Really fucked up. And he's grieving, and he's moaning, and he's drinking, and he's doping.
Just like Edgar Allan Poe was in real life.
Precisely. Pretty soon, he starts picking up chords, and there's a steady stream of sex parties. A lot of it's real hot. Some of it's a little dirty. That's just to show how confused he was. The scenes with him and 2 or 3 women, or 2 men and a woman. Keeps coming back to my grave. And the women he's doing it with, well, they start getting serious about him and demanding that he love them. But to him, they're just whores. I'm the one he loves. Then what happens? Oh yeah, some of these women, well, they get so turned on by him when he gets mad, that's right. He gets so mad at some of these women that he slaps them around. Which makes him feel bad because he's good at heart. But when he slaps some of these women, they just get more turned on by it.
All this was in the poem? Well, we sure missed while we were at
One time, sitting by my grave, he's thinking about me. You see me when I'm 15 years old. It's a real sweet love scene. Totally juxtaposed to those scenes with the horse. Then, a big moment happened. Climax of the film. Because my spirit rises up out of the grave. Only he can't see me because I'm a ghost, right? The audience can see me, and boy, did they get an apple.
Are you naked?
No, but I'm wearing this red see-through thing. Oh, you can just see the contours. And I've got pretty nice contours, if you know what I mean. So, I come up, and I'm sad. And then he goes off and does worse things, like he's drunk all the time. And to make a long story short, he gets mad and he kills a whore. Nobody cares, except him. He killed her. So he turns, and he runs, and he jumps off the cliff, and he falls on the rock. And then we see his ghost rise up out of the rock. And then his ghost sees my ghost, and he rushes over, and he picks me up, and he throws me down on the grave. My grave. We make love. As the credits roll and the voice recites the poem. Isn't that great?
They They sure use their imaginations to get all that out of the poem.
That's what artists do. They use their imaginations.
Oh, well, this reading ain't so bad. I just didn't know what to look for.
Bill, I wish I had a copy of that movie.
Well, I just happen to have a few cassettes in my bag. If anybody would like to buy them, I'd be more than glad to autograph them for you.
I'll take one.
Me too. I already got mine.
I'll take one. I'll let you check.
I'll watch yours.
Daphne, oh, it's been wonderful having you here.
Ooh, I really enjoyed it.
This was great.
But wait, fellas. We're not through yet. Because Daphne Dumas has consented to read the poem for us.
That way, we could get a better idea what it's
All about. Here you go, Daphne. Here's the poem.
Annabelle Lee by Edgar Allan Poe, verse 1. It was many, many a year ago in a kingdom by the sea that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name Annabelle Lee.
All right, it's time to begin. Dwayne, it's time to start. Hey! Hey! Thank you. Now, if you would all take your places, it's time to start tonight's discussion. I know we're all excited about getting to meet together for the first time. Unfortunately, Joy isn't able to attend, and Raleigh had to go out of town on business. But speaking for all the JCYs, I would like to thank the men for allowing us to be with them for this discussion.
Hey, I'm glad for that take a quarter of years and really Joe just like you're here anyway.
I have a few things to say before we start this discussion. Now, I believe in freedom and democracy.
We all do.
Dwayne, shut the fuck up.
Now, let's all watch our language.
Sorry, class, but it's the only thing that he understands.
Wait a minute. You understand?
As I was saying, I believe in democracy, but since I'm chairing this discussion, I have something to say. Now, I know we chose this piece of literature by secret ballot. Each of us put something in the hat that we wanted to discuss, and then we drew one out. Now, I have no idea whose suggestion this was, but I, for one, am not pleased to be discussing Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita. There are many things that would have been more appropriate, but this is a democracy, and so we'll discuss it. We are, as usual, going to discuss the universal themes and their applicability. Lord knows, I hope this doesn't apply too much to any of us. Now, there are so many of us this evening, I'll be calling you in alphabetical order, first names, and you can discuss the themes. Is that all right? Okay. Bonnie?
I feel that this book is similar to Thomas Mann's Death in Venice. Once again, we are dealing with the theme of obsession. And once again, this obsession is for you.
You sure you read the same book I did, Bonnie?
You'll have your time, Dwayne. Now, Billy Joe.
Well, Gladys, it's like you and I were reading in the watchtower at home earlier. Perversion
on how when one sins it leads to destruction.
Charlene?
Well, I think Donnie's right. I think it's obsession and moral decay on the part of Humbert Humbert.
Moral decay my ass.
Dwayne,
In the preface, the author refers to the character of Humbert Humbert as having moral leprosy.
But the question is, who do you catch the leprosy from?
Dwayne, you're next, so I guess you can tell us all what the universal theme of the book is.
Well, thank you, ladies. It's something I've seen many times in my life. It's about seduction. It's about how women go around and seduce men and use them up and throw them away.
The girl was only 12 years old.
I don't care if she was 6 years old. She knew exactly what she was doing.
I don't believe that. A 12-year-old
The
doesn't know
hell
what...
they don't. Why, it's been that way ever since Eve gave the apple to Adam.
Are you Sam?
That's in the Bible, ain't it, Jim?
Not my turn.
Some of them foreign countries, they're young, 12 and have babies.
I don't think you can
Gladys, you're the
chairperson.
chairwoman. So you ain't supposed
I don't think you can blame a poor little girl for something that she
Poor
was doing.
little girl, my ass. He's not the one that fucked her first. She fucked him.
Oh my God, Dwayne!
If you don't believe me, I'll find the page and read it to you. She fucked him. He let her, but she fucked him first.
Dwayne, you don't use that kind of language in mixed company.
But it's what happened.
I know it's what
She
happened.
seduced him, and then he got treated like shit, went crazy. But it's all because of her and what she did. She knew exactly what she was doing. She didn't have to go to school, got to travel all around.
You made your point, Dwayne.
But I got a lot more I want to say.
You'll get your chance. Now, Jim, what do you think?
I didn't have time to read the book. I rented the movie. I didn't like it too much. Sort of stupid.
I told him to read the book. It's much better.
I didn't have time.
You should have read the book. The movie ain't nothing compared to the book. The book's a lot hotter. Of course, now Liddy got somebody like Daphne Du Mont.
No one, an actress.
I never heard of her.
Well, she did the film version of Annabelle Lee.
Well, I never heard of that.
Me either.
Very artsy.
Lulabelle.
I partially agree with Dwayne.
Really?
Now, I think the book doesn't just deal with obsession, but it deals with perversion. And how when perversion is not controlled, it can wrap itself around one and warp your reality. I think Hubbard Hubbard is an adult, so he is responsible for his actions. Shut up, Dwayne. But his actions are sickness, and he has no control over the disease. Leprosy, like Charlene said.
I got it from the preface.
But Lolita too is not normal. She gets normal, but she's not in the beginning. They're both in a state of sickness. Lolita, in some ways, more so than Humbert. But as the book progresses, she gets healthy and he degenerates. I don't think we should see her as an innocent 12-year-old victim. Obviously, the author intends for her to be much more.
At 12 years old, she couldn't have known what she was doing.
Oh.
It was more like playing with a toy than actually... you know what I mean?
At 12 years old, she couldn't have known, and you know that.
Well, I agree in part with Lulabelle. Adding to that, I think it shows how perversion feeds on man's soul.
Okay, now, let's see what we have now in relationship to the universal themes. We have growth of perversion and how it warps and consumes the soul. We have obsession and moral decay, like leprosy.
And seduction and use.
in seduction and use.
By a woman on a man.
By a 12-year-old girl child on a man.
I think it also shows us how men view women not as human beings, but as objects of lust.
It does sort of do that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I think it shows how women use their pussies to get what they want.
Yes.
You know, I think this book shows how women pussy whip men.
Don't sort of do that, doesn't it, boy?
Well, we don't need that kind of language.
Gladys is right. We've got women present.
Well, if we're going to read about it, I don't see why we can't talk about it. Besides, all the women here have pussies. And I'm beginning to think some of the men do too. Karate's not here.
Dwayne, you and I are leaving. I don't know what's wrong with you.
I'm inspired by what I read.
If you have to talk about those things, use the biological vocabulary.
I thought I was.
The scientific term.
Well, I don't know if I know all that.
Ask me, I'll tell you. I got a few things I want to say.
Bernice, I thought you weren't going to make it.
I wasn't.
Well, I'm glad you did. We've been missing you.
I don't have time for idle chit-chat. Last night I couldn't fall asleep, so I read the book. That book of yours.
It's not my book.
I read the book, Gladys, and I got a few things I want to say.
Well, we are discussing it right now.
I heard some of the things you were saying, and I'm here to do some discussing too. I want to know who suggested that book as proper reading material? Who put it in? I don't blame you. I wouldn't admit to it either, because whoever suggested that book is a sick pervert. Makes me sick to think that someone in the JCs of Mammoth Springs would suggest we read something like Lolita as great literature.
It's a very famous book, Bernice.
And screw with the famous magazine, Bonnie, but it doesn't mean we have to read it as part of our literature series. I think Lolita is certainly more acceptable than it's Oh, you do you? Yes. Get that waste can out here, Gladys. What? The trash can. Get it out here and put it in the center of the floor.
Now, Bernice, wait just a sec.
I read the book, Jim. I read it, and I haven't had a wink of sleep since I read it. Make you think. Make you think what this world's coming to.
You got your juices all stirred up.
I just don't think there's anything wrong with something that makes you consider
Make you
anything.
think. It made me puke. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever read in my life.
It can't be the most disgusting thing you ever read, Bernice.
Yes, it is, Bonnie. I don't know what kind of books you read, but it's certainly more.
Maybe you don't like it because it shows how women manipulate men.
Dwayne, shut your fucking mouth. It chagrins me to think that in the United States of America, something like that is allowed to be published.
We do have freedom of the press.
Freedom? What about my freedom? Freedom from having to... Clarence, get that trash can out here. Bernice, you don't have to read the book. Whoever picked that book caused me to have to read it.
Yeah, well, did you read all of it?
Cover to cover.
Well, it seems to me like you just stopped when you see how dirty it was.
Why? Why did we pick a book like that? Tell me why.
We drew it out of a hat, Bernice.
But why was it put into the hat? When there are such wonderful works of literature, we could be discussing Elizabeth Barrett Browning, Harold Bell Wright, Gerald Manley Hopkins, or if you guys liked, we could even read St. Grave. But no, we have to read something like this. Now, I want you to take that book, put it in the trash, drop it in the can. Come on.
Oh, well, I'll think
go on, but I ain't changing my mind.
Well, let's put her book in the trash can. Charlene, how about you?
Charlene and I ain't doing it.
No, well, I can speak for myself.
You're not doing it.
Charlene,
No, Bernice.
you really ought to let Charlene make up her own mind, Noel.
I did.
Lulabelle,
I like the book.
Jim,
Jim and I aren't doing
of
it.
course you would put your book in the trash can. We all know about you and Dennis Anderson this summer.
Bernice, that's none of your damn
Goddamn picture wasn't anything that went on.
I wish I could believe that.
I don't give a fuck what you believe.
Bernice, why don't you just get the hell out?
No,
Just go on home. Nobody's asking you to read the book. Nobody's asking you to be here. Just go on home and leave us alone.
That's right, kid.
Go on. Come on. Go on.
our grave is gonna come to this.
Go